Hello, welcome back.
Welcome back to episode 2 of the Thunderpod. I'm Cam Lyons.
And I'm Mavry Durham.
And we are both your editors for the Thunderword and your hosts of the Thunderpod.
We are officially in week 3, which marks 25% of the way through the end. Firstly, thank you to everyone who listened to our very first episode. We received some incredible feedback from all around campus. Last week, we spoke about this not feeling real, and receiving emails from all different types of people about this little project has been mind-boggling. Episode 1 was really just us getting on our feet.
It's always a pleasant surprise when you get imposter syndrome, and then people come out of the woodwork to encourage you, and that is in droves what we've got.
Oh my gosh, yeah. The feedback from episode 1 really blew open some doors for the future of this podcast.
Heck yes. Very much looking forward to it. And stay tuned because we have some exciting things planned.
All right, so in this episode, we'll be covering some happenings around Highline, a few announcements from various organizations and clubs on campus, and bringing on our sports reporter, Cassidy Pearson, to catch up on what the Thunderbirds have been doing.
That was a very fun conversation.
All right, so first off, a few club announcements. Running Start Club meets every Thursday from 1 to 2 in Building 2, room 101.
Next, the College Success Foundation Club meets Tuesdays from 1 to 2 in Building 99, Suite 200, which is the CSF office.
CCIE is hosting a keynote speech entitled The Power of Pause, A Path to Healing and Justice on Tuesday, January 21st. The college has invited Dr. Joyce Hardiman, a prior executive director of Evergreen State College. The speech takes place from 10 to 10:30, either in Building 7 or on Zoom. A link will be on the Highline calendar as well as our show notes. Following the speech, there will be opportunities to talk with Dr. Hardiman, as well as a book signing with her. The event will continue until 1:30.
For those looking into transferring to a university after Highline, there is a Navigating the Transfer Process workshop taking place from 1 to 2 in Building 2 on this Tuesday. They'll be going over the process, meeting deadlines, and answering any questions. It's never too early or too late to get started on that for students whose goal it is to transfer to UW.
Wednesday, January 22nd, the art club will be meeting in the ceramics department. That takes place from 11 to 12:30 in the lab, Building 16, room 117.
Next, on Thursday, January 23rd, the Counseling Center is going to be doing a check-in for students on their mental health as the quarter starts chugging along. An academic advising workshop will be following for anyone struggling to get their feet underneath them. Highline has free, professional counseling for all students, and the academic advising team is here to help you make sense of it all. Now, that's going to be taking place in Building 8, the Mount Constance room, on the first floor from 10 to 12.
Moving on to week 4.
Week 4?
I know, right? That's like a third of the way through that's a third of the way through the quarter.
4 weeks, that's almost 5 weeks.
4 weeks is a month.
Ugh.
4 weeks is almost 5 weeks.
Oh, that flew by.
Oh my God.
Okay. What's the first thing coming up on week 4?
Tuesday, January 28th, the art club is joining up to work on their pointillism skills from 1 to 3 in Building 8, room 302. That's the student union. Thursday, the art club is back in the ceramics lab.
Woo.
The art club is holding a public event in there. Anyone can join, all the students. It's benefiting Climate Justice Task Force. Attendees will be making 2 clay rattles, 1 to keep and 1 to donate to their auction. So all proceeds from that auction will be going to Climate Justice Task Force. That'll be taking place from 10 to 2 in the ceramics lab, Building 16, 117.
Next, Highline International Students Programs, or ISP, is hosting their biannual International Transfer Fair. They'll have dozens of local, national, and international universities and colleges. It's open to all students on campus. For those wanting to transfer to a university, it takes place from 10 to 12 in the Building 8 cafeteria.
The Thunderword is a weekly student newspaper run by a team of staff and student reporters out of the journalism class. We release every Thursday, so the next issue will be on Thursday, the 23rd.
You can find it on a link to the actual Highline website, or just type in thunderword.highline.edu.
Cam, you sat down with Cassidy, didn't you?
Mavry? Yeah, you're totally right. I sat down with Cassidy Pearson, our head sports writer.
Which we're going to throw in right now. You guys enjoy that.
Hey, good morning, everybody. My name is Cam Lyons. I am sitting down with Cassidy Pearson, the sports writer at the Thunderword. Cassidy.
I'm Cassidy Pearson. This is my second quarter here at Highline. I'm currently a student athlete here as well. I play for the women's tennis team. I have aspirations of being a sports reporter, so that's what I'm doing here at Highline.
How long have you wanted to do that?
This came out of me Probably my freshman year of high school. I have very big aspirations of being a news reporter, and I just wanted to write for newspapers. I knew that I was going to Highline for tennis, but I'll just get my general AA and finish it out. After that, it was like news reporting. The amount of things in my life that have set me up for this has been so insane.
That's incredibly exciting. And there's a few parallels to Kara Stewart.
She has been amazing throughout these past quarters. Coming in, I knew they wanted to do sports reporting and was like, oh, I'm seeing that there's a journalism class. I might as well just take it. Why not? And the first day coming into the quarter, I looked at Kara and I said, I want to do sports reporting. She said, great, we'll do it.
I remember her waxing poetic about that, because walking into the Thunderword and saying what you'd like to write about. As an editor, and I know Mavry Durham, our other editor, can attest, having a writer or even a photographer come in and know that they'd like to write about something or know that they have a passion, they want to explore it, it's the favorite thing, because all our job then is to remove obstacles so you can get going on the stuff that you're clearly meant to do. So heck yeah. And it's your second quarter at Highline.
Thunderword has been so great to me that past quarter. I was doing the sports section all by myself. I'm really excited for this next quarter. I've seen a lot of students come into the class and say, hey, I want to do sports. I'm very interested in that. And that just excites me so much to see what will come of these next 2 quarters.
Thank you, Cassidy. It's a pleasure to be sitting here with you now. Let's get started with Highline. We got an article coming out this week. Would you mind telling me a little bit about that?
We are 2 weeks back from winter break, I believe. It's been going by so quickly. This week we have a review about what men's basketball has been doing over winter break. They really just exploded during this winter break. It's been great for them. They played 10 matchups over their break and won 8 of the 10. Along with that, they had a 5-win streak, which is just amazing for the team. We have seen them be so confident on the court. They are looking great. They are determined with every single game that they play.
Are there any standout players you've noticed?
One of them we have is sophomore Rylan Donovan. During this last week, he was named Athlete of the Week for NWAC.
What's NWAC?
NWAC is the Northwest Athletic Conference. All of our sports here at Highline fall under the Northwest Athletic Conference.
You said Rylan Donovan, Athlete of the Week for the whole Northwest Athletic Conference.
Yes.
Quick shout out to sophomore Rylan Donovan.
He really led the team going 3-0 last week. We had wins against Walla Walla going 90 and 84. Another win against Bellevue with 77 and 68. And lastly, a win against Peninsula with an 88 and 81 score.
So we have an upcoming spring article, don't we?
Yes, we do. Spring sports are just around the corner. At the time of this recording, spring sports started their practices yesterday. We've got women's tennis, men's golf, and women's softball.
Tell me more about what it's like on the women's tennis team.
Oh, it's great. Last year, we came up second in the final championship. This team is very determined and thirsty for a win this year. Everyone is just so ready to get this thing started.
Who are the matchups?
At the beginning of our seasons, we play a lot of those bigger D3 colleges. Those are, of course, the 3 tiers of NCAA. Sports is D3, D2, and D1.
Okay.
D3 is kind of that lowest. So we've got a lot of matchups with those D3s.
You said D3 is the smallest, and then going up from there, D2, and then D1 would be the traditional NCAA games you see on the television.
Yes.
Wimbledon, if you will. I'm just kidding.
Oh, speaking about tennis, we have the Australian Open going on right now. Tennis fans will know that's an exciting one.
I'm familiar with the Australian breakdancing from last year's Olympics.
Back to Highline's tennis. We play on February 8th at Pacific University and Forest Grove, Oregon.
Oh, wow.
The beginning of our season starts with some of those bigger matchups. As we get into the middle of the season, we'll start playing those NWAC games within our conference. Bellevue College, Spokane College, Treasure Valley. Those are some really exciting matchups we're going to see.
Anywhere local where students and fans can support your team?
Yeah, we play our home matchups at Boeing Employees Credit Union Tennis Center in Kent, Washington. If anyone wants to support, we'll be out there.
Outstanding.
Moving on, within our spring sports, we also have men's golf. They are set up for an exciting season. They currently have 7 men on their team with notable returns from sophomores such as Caden Clark and Keon Silliman. They hosted their first invitational back in October, a little preseason. Highline took 5th overall with a total score of 649. Lastly, we've got softball going on.
So what's coming up with softball?
We've got a whole new team for them. They are seeing a lot of freshmen on their team this year, so we'll see a lot of young athletic ability on this team.
I have heard from sports teams at community college that the 2-yearness of community college does make it somewhat, I want to say a point of contention, but definitely a factor in people's sports careers. There is a shorter window for them to explore their avenues and enjoy the sports teams. It's really cool to hear that they're hitting that stride early on their career here. We're happy to hear that.
They started off their season playing some preseason games in October against Clark College and Skagit Valley College. We saw an amazing fall sports season, men's and women's soccer, along with women's volleyball. Men's soccer ended 13-1 within the West Conference and 14-3 overall. They were able to clinch the region championship, but sadly were knocked out in the first round, but still had an amazing season.
It sounds like our teams are having a presence at this esteemed level.
Oh, it's amazing to brag about. I take a lot of pride within our sports, and it's amazing to just be able to talk so highly about them.
That's exciting.
Along with that successful season, our individual players have seen a lot of success. A lot of the team ended up as NWAC All-Stars for the 2024 season. That included sophomore Mason Abdullah, who was named the co-region MVP Offensive Player for the Year, alongside freshman Micah Harris, who was named the co-region Defensive Player of the Year. That is so exciting to see that young talent be named.
The biggest and most astounding of high fives. Congratulations. Yeah. Where can people find information on upcoming games?
We have our own Highline Athletics page, highlineathletics.com. You can find everything there, from sports to, if you are an athlete yourself, we have a recruiting page for those who want to be recruited. We are so excited to see what they have next year. They've got a big group of freshmen, so they will next year have a lot of sophomores. We hope to see them have a lot of success next season.
How are you envisioning the future here at Highline for sports?
As someone in the freshman class, I see a lot of success within these next years. I think that we'll see a lot of winning. We'll see a lot of celebrating throughout that. So that is so exciting to see.
A lot of victories on the horizon. Thank you again, Cassidy.
Of course.
Moving on from sports, it's a very exciting week for romantasy readers.
Romantasy? What's that?
So romantasy is a kind of a new genre in the literary world. It's a combination of romance and fantasy.
I'm getting Twilight. Is that something like Twilight?
I guess you could call it Twilight. There's an excellent story by The Journal about book talk and the rise of book talk and romantasy. Ooh. That's available on Spotify for anyone who's interested in that. I listened to it and I really liked it.
I have been getting some words on the grapevine about a recent book series that's been the talk of the town.
Yes. The 3rd installment of the Empyrean series, Onyx Storm, has been released. The series begins with Fourth Wing, and the Thunderword reporter Lila Nutting has her review coming out this week of Fourth Wing. We'll be getting her thoughts on both the second book, Iron Flame, as well as Onyx Storm in the coming issues of the Thunderword.
I've had the pleasure of being able to see some of the work I think you and Lila have been doing on Lila's newest article for last week, as well as an upcoming article on Iron Flame and Rebecca Yaros.
Rebecca Yaros is the author of Fourth Wing. I'm very excited about the work that me and her have been doing.
That's wonderful to hear.
Cam, I know you had sort of a hard stuff this week.
I did. A very wonderful director had passed away at 78, David Lynch, famous for directing a wonderful TV series, Twin Peaks, as well as movies like Eraserhead, and one of my favorites, a really tense movie called Lost Highway. So we're sad to see him go, but feel free to, if you haven't yet, take a look at stuff he's made. You'll be guaranteed to find something you like about it.
As for some campus stuff, we have an excellent writer this quarter. You've been working with her, like how I've been working with Lila, on a piece about campus safety and lighting.
Stacey Barnes, the Thunderword is not the only thing that keeps her up and about on campus. She's a very good writer and researcher, and she's making a special piece about the lighting on campus and how much of a safety issue it is. Look forward to a wonderful article by Stacey Barnes on campus lighting safety. The new journalism reporter, Francisco, is looking into a policy change at Meta, Facebook, and Instagram's parent company on fact-checking. The social media platforms will be ending their content moderation, precisely their fact-checking, in exchange for community note systems, something Twitter has adopted in order to quote-unquote protect free speech. The biggest headline you'll see on that is generally Meta to end fact-checking.
You know what's kind of been happening? This is a really developing story, and it's going to be different on the day of recording today than it will be on the day that this releases. But the TikTok ban. Come Sunday, whenever we want to open our TikTok app, we won't know what's going to happen. Maybe by the time this comes out, we will know.
Yes, this has been a developing story over the past year. Famously, a lot of very young Americans have been calling congressmen to pressure them to not go through with this, but it looks like it is nevertheless going through, and that ban is going to be upheld.
Yeah, I do think something might change at the very end, like a buyer will step up. I know both Donald Trump and Biden have changed their tune, saying that the app should stay open, but they have both campaigned against the app staying open in the past, so we really don't know what's going to happen.
Right.
It's just going to be wait and see.
In the meantime,
there's another thing coming up. I want to say something before I ask you about your experience.
By all means.
What's hilarious to me is TikTok is supposedly getting banned for its data privacy policies, and Gen Z and some other people heard this and said, go right ahead.
Yes, much like anything else on the internet, the response to our government has been overwhelmingly sarcastic and ironic.
It's actually kind of funny at this point.
It's pretty funny. And time will tell how silly of a decision it is. But a lot of the fears have been stoked that TikTok would be used by the Chinese government and even the citizens of China to take advantage of Americans using their data. A lot of the response has been users of TikTok in America downloading an app called RedNote, which as of a few days ago was the top downloaded app in the Apple App Store.
And it's funny that it's called a RedNote.
It is so on the nose, it seems as if it were written by a very unsubtle writer. But yes, Americans, after being deprived of their app for reasons of Chinese government involvement, to download RedNote, an app that I have personally downloaded. Though I haven't put any real physical information on there, I was really curious what's on there. And can I tell you what I found, Mabry?
Oh, God, tell me what you found.
It's a lot of really nice people.
Oh, that's what I hear.
The overwhelming majority of people that I've seen in my feed are introducing themselves and learning basic Chinese to greet people. Most of the app's interface is still in Chinese.
I'm in this weird period on TikTok where everyone's coming back from RedNote to tell everyone on TikTok how it is on RedNote.
It has been fairly positive. People are very kind.
So there's a new community sort of growing.
There is, and it seems to be very positive, and that's not something you see on the internet all the time.
I wonder if culturally anything will come out of that.
I hope that the positivity continues, and I hope, like it is the case with most things involving community, the talking between people of different backgrounds leads to more understanding and more videos of cats, to be frank.
All right. So that's RedNote. Going to the other side of the country, we have some tentative yet very positive news. Today, as of recording this, Israel and Gaza have reached a ceasefire. It has been approved by the Israeli government, and it is set to be implemented. We will most definitely be having some more information come out on Thursday's edition of the Thunderword about that. It's supposed to last for at least 6 weeks, and it's going to allow for hostages to be swapped and aid to be sent in to Gaza. Palestinians have been tentatively celebrating since the announcement of the ceasefire. Biden has taken credit, citing his framework from last year as what led to this, and Trump is also taking credit for the ceasefire, saying that it could only happen due to his historic win from last November.
Let's hope the mid and long-term takeaway is the safety of the people of Palestine.
Zooming in a little bit from the national and international news to statewide news. last November, Bob Ferguson was elected as the brand new governor of the state of Washington after the retirement of Jay Inslee. Wednesday, Ferguson was inaugurated. Within 30 minutes of being inaugurated, he signed 3 executive orders. Executive Order number 1, 2501, is focused on reproductive health care. K5 reports, quote, under the order, the State Department of Health is directed to convene a group of medical providers, health experts, and policymakers to look at ways to protect and facilitate access to reproductive health care in the state. The order specifically mentions Roe v. Wade being overturned, calling it a catalyst for a nationwide reproductive care access crisis, particularly as to abortion care. The next executive order he signed was 2502, specifically focuses on the future expansion of affordable housing in the state. And Executive Order 2503 is intended to start the work of making it easier to operate a business in the state.
3 executive orders is really hitting the ground running.
I know he's really setting an example for our incoming administration. Let's see if our incoming administration can take a hint.
And that's all we have for you today. That's a wrap for episode 2 of the Thunderpod. Today is January 20th, 2025, Monday of week 3 in the quarter, with 9 more to go. Find the Thunderword at Thunder, THUNDERWORD.highline.edu, and the Thunderpod will be published under there. And we promise, guys, we're working on Spotify and Apple Music as well. My name's been Cam.
And I'm Mavry. Bye.
Toodles.
Toodles. The Thunderpod was created by the Thunderword, Kara Stewart, Mavry Durham, and Cam Lyons. It is produced by Mavry and Cam. We have an associate producer, Rachel Stewart. It is edited by myself, Mavry, and special thanks to Cassidy Pearson for coming on the show and Bob Heyer for allowing us use of the multimedia studio.